Hello, everybody. So, in today's My Zoho Story episode, we have Stuart George, who's joining us from Brisbane, Australia. How are you today, Stuart?
Fantastic. How you doing today?
Pretty good. It's really nice to see you again.
And you too. Awesome.
So first things first, how's Brisbane?
I tell you what, it's a sunny day, and amidst all the crisis that's going on, I just had a phone call from another one of our clients that's looking at expanding his business again. So I'm seeing that there's a healthy balance of positivity, and we just really need to nurture it in a positive direction. So there's a lot going on that is fantastic at the moment. So that's Brisbane right now.
That's great to hear. And can you tell us something about CKP Creative and how you started the business and stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the business has been going for since 1998,
Wow.
and way back then, we actually we started with several ideas. As a matter of fact, there was going to be some baking involved. Would you believe that was one of the original things? There was also talk of would you believe, a kids show. There was all of these ideas bubbling around. One of the consistent things was that whatever we did, it had to be nurtured forth with digital. And quite rapidly, when we embarked upon a career as actually professional musicians, that's where I came from.
Wow.
Suddenly, there was actually it was a need for promotional material, and there was a need for a website, and there was just more going on. And I'm currently sitting in our recording studio that we actually built in our home as well, out of a need. And so after we were doing this, there were conversations with several of our colleagues. And yeah, they found out what we were doing and they needed help. And so we started helping people, and that was with technology, and then rapidly evolving into marketing materials, collateral. All of a sudden, here we were, making sites for people, and helping them grow their businesses with video and photography and audio. It was a rapid evolution, and I always like to say, and yes, I'm going to use that evil word that everyone's talking about at the moment. Stop using pivot. Well, it's a business term, what do we call it? It's not a pivot table. Are we going to give that a different name? I don't know. But I always like to say we've made as many pivots as Baryshnikov over the over the last over 20 years. So yeah, we've rapidly evolved from music, from professional music, to where we are today, with the 7 members in our team, as for lack of a better description, we're a digital agency. We actually really do assist businesses get their online presence moving forward. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to have to write that book, I think.
Got it. 1998, that's barely the time when everything started coming onto the internet, right? I barely
Oh,
knew what was technology in 1998. So you were pretty much evolved your business multiple times already to get to where you are right now, right? So,
absolutely.
so give us some inputs or the challenges that you faced on constantly needing to evolve your business. Like you said, you started off from a kids' TV show or banking, and now you're into digital solutions. Can you?
That's it. Yeah, well, just consistently over that entire time, and I have conversations with business owners, and as early as yesterday, was it's time, and it's finding how to reduce that time that you're spending on tasks that you really shouldn't be doing in your business. And one of my quotes, I don't know if I'm stealing it, maybe I'm borrowing it, is just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should. And so I'm actually an Apple certified trainer. I've been working in digital for many years, but we've got team members now, which can assist us to get things done, which is amazing. And people that don't have team members can make use of fantastic, a digital platform such as I think one we're going to be talking about. And what we found is that we had tools that weren't integrating. We were working with they started off as a fledgling invoicing system, and they rapidly evolved to be international. But what we discovered was that it just wasn't talking to anything. While you could export elements from that, and this is specifically around an accounting system. It's just, I'll touch on that. But we were working with that, and it didn't talk to anything, so it left us stranded. And I was duplicating tasks. So I'd bring up on the phone, and I was using another CRM. I won't mention that, but we were using another CRM, and so there were partial integrations, and I was taking client records, and then I'd have to go back and copy it, and then I'd bring it back into the accounting system, and nothing talked. I didn't know what was going on overall. I couldn't look at a dashboard. I couldn't see what was happening. So after talking with one of our business partners, who actually does our SEO and digital marketing element of what we do as well, and partners with us, he just said, look, check out Zoho. I think it's going to be a really good solution. And rapidly, we were able to actually bring another vertical into the business, which is website maintenance. And we had clients signing up, and it was easy because we used subscriptions. We took the bookkeeping system that we had, and we rolled everything into books, and all of a sudden we had visibility. The CRM, everything talked. There was no more duplication. And I keep saying, on average, I keep looking at what we're doing. We save 2 days a week, 3 days a week on all of these processes, let alone what we're doing inside the CRM now. And as we start to scale up, it's really amazing. And it doesn't seem to be any boundaries. I just keep thinking, I wonder if we can do that. A little bit of research, jump on and talk to the Zoho team, and we can do that. So, okay, what can't it do? That's what I keep saying. And so what I'm doing now is I keep recommending it to the businesses that we're working with to help them save time, and that's our the evolution of us working with Zoho. It's saved us time. It's integrated everything that we're doing. It's given us visibility over everything, and we're downscaling all of the multiple tools that we were using into the one system. And that's and here we are talking on meetings, and so that's the thing. Like, there's another platform that we're about to move away from, and it really helps us consolidate, integrate, and move forward as a business with a solid partnership with software. And I never thought I'd be saying that, but that's really what it is.
I'm so glad to hear that, Stuart. And I can really vouch for you that you referring to Zoho to multiple businesses. I have personally spoken to 3 of them that were referred by you, and it's so amazing to hear such nice stuff. And Stuart, can you also let us know or a ballpark number on how many clients you had before you got into Zoho and after you evolved to Zoho? How has your client increased?
This is it. Like, I can go back and look at all the figures because I put everything into deals, and now I can see what's going on. I can see reasons why. As we've grown and scaled, like I can say, like our business going back. I mean, we started evolving would have been around about this time last year, and getting Zoho up and running. I'm going to say we've at least had a 40% increase in our client base. And it's how we interact with them. It's the fact that, yesterday afternoon, we are actually about to integrate a phone system. So that's my next exploration. But I pick my phone up. I'm using the app. I go into CRM. I call from there. It's logging the calls, and that enables us to talk to more people, to have more relationships active, to understand what everybody's doing. So that nobody slips through the cracks anymore, and not that they were, but as your business grows, you can't keep everyone's details in your head anymore. And I always refer back to the greengrocer and the butcher. I don't use a butcher anymore. That's another story. But the greengrocer, and I'd come in and he'd remember what I was doing, what sports I was playing, where I was going, where we went on holidays, and I just thought, this guy's amazing. I don't know if he was writing it down, but as your business scales and grows, you've got to have those details at hand. So it's allowing us to grow by keeping track of what's going on. So yes, so that specific figure, it's 40%. It really is plus, and that's growing all the time.
That's a lot of difference within a year span, and especially taking into consideration the last 7 months has been
Absolutely.
being in digital consulting and digital solutions. How had you had to evolve to the current scenario because you have constantly evolved, and how was this one?
For us, we've been banging on about online meetings, and I actually reflected to a friend the other day. This would have been would have been it would have been about 3 years ago. I was at a networking event, and I said, I'm finding that I'm driving, I'm using the planet's resources, I'm using my resources, which is my time, and I'm driving around. I would love to have a huge increase in online meetings, and that would be a huge change I think for everybody, and I think it's something necessary for the planet. It really is. And immediately people in the room were saying, "Oh, in person. I would never have an online meeting." When I found out why that was, it's purely because they didn't understand the technology. What's happened over the last 7 months is there's been a forced evolution, and people there's a need to be online. There's a need to be doing what we're doing now, and people are understanding that it's like a meeting. It's just that there's sometimes less coffee, but not for me. But there's such an evolution in how you approach your day. Literally, just before we started speaking, I finished a meeting with a client, and so I can go from that meeting straight to the next meeting. You should always put a pause in there, but if you need to, you can. And that's what I'm seeing as there's a huge push. Everyone is going digital. Everyone needs to go digital. Now they're being forced into it. It's a great place to be. That's my sort of take on what's been going on and the positives that we can take from it as well. And this isn't to discount what's going on, because we are in there's a huge amount of stress on businesses, on families. There's people that have they've lost people. It's really, really, and I'm talking about this as a from somebody whose business has had a few ebbs and flows over this time as well. But we've got to keep positive. I think that's really the message for everybody. And using a platform that enables you to be better at what you do and more efficient, that's where it's at. That's where we all need to be moving towards.
Well, you put it in an amazing way, Stuart, and I can just say that you were ahead of the curve. Visualizing all of this 3 years back, I think helped you to plan ahead for the future.
Absolutely, got to keep your eyes down the road. Absolutely.
That's right. And it's also amazing to talk to someone who's seen the evolution of technologies from the dot-com bubble all the way to the multiple stages of evolution, and finally, right now which is the cloud solution. And it was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure talking with you, Stuart. It's always nice to connect with you and talking with you.
Thank you so much. Excellent. And thanks for all of your help and all the Zoho team who've, despite these troubling times, we've been working together, and that's exciting. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Have a wonderful day, Stuart.
You too. Thank you.